Hello and welcome to Co-ople Mode, a couple's opinion on gaming. I'm Matt.
I'm Rose.
And welcome back. We're off the battle bus. We're not getting ourselves killed. And
oh man, I forgot to mention, I saw everybody thanking the battle bus, and I was like, how do you do that? Why did they do that? And you told me that they put the meme in the game because everybody was starting to do that.
Yeah, I think, Fortnite was originally just on computer, so you'd have the chat, and you could chat when people are close enough. Oh, thank the bus driver, and yeah.
I like that they did that.
Yeah, that's now cool. It's a whole button dedicated to it when
Thanking
you're on
the bus driver.
You probably have no idea what the game this week is.
I do not. I've had spring fever real bad, and I've been focusing on being outside.
Yep.
It's been real hard to get me to come inside, sit down, and play a game.
Yeah,
so I have not paid attention to anything.
We got the garden tilled, we got the fence up, we got the grass mowed.
Flowers everywhere.
Yeah.
That's what I'm all about.
Like a maniacal, evil flower villainess. Color everywhere.
Saving the bees.
Yeah, save the bees.
Hey, it's true.
No, it's true. I think it's just how it put it hit me. It's just so funny. Well, here's the thing. We normally run a 2-week schedule, right? So I usually like to make sure you have enough time to really dig into a game and whatnot. So I wanted to pick a game that was a little smaller because we got a little family road trip coming up. Woo! And we only have about half as much time as normal. So we're going to go back to the indie side of gaming, away from the millions of concurrent player and billions of dollars that Fortnite has made. we're going to go something a little smaller. I am going to have you play a game called Dome Keeper.
Oh.
Yep. And you've seen me play this game.
It's like you drill things. And there's the minerals.
Hold on, let me clip that real quick. You drill things.
I can't remember if it's aliens or dinosaurs that attack, but something attacks you.
Like alien dinosaurs, pretty much.
Oh,
that's what it looks like.
It. I know how to play this game.
For people who don't know, Dome Keeper, available on PC, Steam, and Mac, is a roguelike tower defense game. And it basically involves protecting your dome above ground while you dig underground for resources. And it's a little bit of a resource game balancing act between upgrading yourself so you can dig faster and deeper, and upgrading your dome so your dome doesn't get smashed in by a bunch of crazy alien beasts on this planet.
This game is a trap. It's one of those loop games where you got to protect your stuff so you can get more stuff because you need more stuff to protect your stuff. It's one of those kind of games. It's a dopamine feed loop.
Man, well, and luckily...
Now talk about it because I fall for games like this all the time.
We know you like roguelikes, so I think I think this might do it.
Yeah.
This game was originally fully released in September of 2022, so it's very recent. It is developed by an indie developer called Bippin Bits. And
I like that name.
Yeah. And published by Raw Fury. Now, Raw Fury is kind of similar to Devolver Digital. If you remember them, they published Inscription. They are good about... Devolver Digital is another company that's good about publishing these indie games. And that's what Raw Fury is kind of like. They find these indie developers and help them develop these games and get them out. And that kind of works out. So a lot of these... I've seen a lot of their games
doing God's work out there.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of good indie games out there, folks.
I've been very impressed with the indie games that you've shown me more so than the big money maker.
I think you hear talk about how the AAA video game scene seems to be dying out a little bit, and I don't think it ever completely will. But I think it's hard when you can get an indie game for $20 that 5 people worked on, and you get this great, amazing game, and then you get this AAA game that 200 people work on, and then sometimes you get a broken game in return, and I had to pay $70 or $80 for this game. People are like, I can pay $20 and get a better experience. Not that is always true. No. I'm just saying that's kind of the vibe that's been going on lately.
I don't think AAA games will ever die out. I mean,
no.
Tears of the Kingdom just came out, and all we're hearing about is how no one understands how Nintendo was able to make this possible because
make it run on the Switch
because it is so good. Yeah, they literally can't figure out how it runs on the Switch. As long as people are still doing that, and also, by the way, good job, Nintendo. I knew I could believe
Nintendo. in you. they do put a lot of hard work into their mainline IPs for sure.
But they've pushed themselves. They made something possible that, just in theory, sounds absolutely wild. The freedom in this game sounds unbelievable and wild, right? Mm-hmm. As long as people keep pushing that, AAA games aren't going to go anywhere. Like, no. Tears of the Kingdom definitely sounds worth $60 or $70. But the thing about indie games that gets me is not only can some of them be so much fun, they're so different, right?
Yeah.
And I love Zelda games, right? Mm-hmm. But we have been playing this franchise for many, many years. And I think Nintendo with Zelda has done the best job of any game ever of giving you the same thing but different every time, where it's always still fresh and fun.
Yeah.
They've done that perfectly. I don't know how they've done it so well, but they have, right? Each one is better, each one is fun. It never gets old, right? But indie games are completely different. You never know what you're going to get. There's always weird ideas in there, wild concepts in there. There might be some silly things or some dark themes, or so there's just this outlier and variety in them that I appreciate so much. And especially when they mix good gameplay in with that, mm-hmm. it's a treat.
Well,
it's like a dessert, you know?
They're allowed to experiment in ways that big AAA companies most of the time won't take the risk on. Why would you take a risk on something when you can put something that's a little more guaranteed to be enjoyable, at least, if not special? And with indie games, you can be like, you know what? I want to try this wild ass thing, and you throw it out there and maybe people hated it. And then you try a wild ass thing on the next game and people love it. And then all of a sudden, hundreds of games are copying this little cool feature you did because you thought it would be cool and interesting. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the real specialty when it comes to indie games. And I'm happy that the market for it has become so big. It also means there's so much crap that comes out. And it's hard to keep up with, like, all these good things that people put out. Mm-hmm. But, like, I've had stuff where it's like, hey, this game's been out for, like, a year and a half. Someone, like, says, this is pretty cool. You should try it out. You look up a trailer, and you're like, why did I not know about this? You buy it, and all of a sudden you're like, this is an amazing game. Why haven't people been playing it? You know, it'll be a year after it came out, and then it'll explode for no good reason other than that it's a good game.
Music's like that, too, though.
That is true. That is true. This game is sitting at a Metacritic review of 76.
That's surprisingly low.
Well, I mean, it's still pretty good. I looked up the critic scores because I was kind of curious, right? And the scores I found ranged from 90 on the high end with a few 80s, and then there was like a couple to a few 70s. So I think it was just... There was a big range, and I understand why some people didn't rate it higher than others. Everyone's got their own feelings on games.
So do you remember what some people said that rated it low? I find this stuff a little more interesting.
Okay. A lot of times people were complaining about it being too short. And some people...
That's like a good diss.
In a way, they're like, hey, I paid this much. I want more to the game.
They didn't feel like they got their money's worth.
Yeah, exactly.
I love the game so much, I wish it was longer. Yeah. See, I looked at it positively, and it's not.
But that's the thing. You can look at it as in a positive light where, like, they wanted more game, you know? The other thing is some people didn't like having to divide between the two parts of the game, the digging and the tower defense part. And
that's the whole point.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You're supposed to feel a little bit rushed, a little bit manic, because you have to try to do these things in a certain amount of time. That's the whole point, right?
The panic makes it fun.
Yeah, sometimes. That's why people play horror games, right?
Yeah.
I understand their points, and it can be a little frustrating sometimes, but That, like, I understand that that's the point of the game. You have to find the balance between the two parts of the game and make it through somehow. It's not supposed to be like, hey, I can spend an hour and dig out this whole thing and then totally upgrade my dome and then just bulldoze everything. You know, that doesn't make sense, right? So the whole point is like, you want to just stay one step ahead of the waves as they get stronger and stronger as the game goes on. That's the whole point. I just got to stay one step ahead so I can keep surviving. And that's, I think, what makes a game like this fun. So there wasn't a lot about the game development that I could find specifically, but I thought I'd go over a little bit the people who made it and what little information I could find. So first, like Raw Fury, I talked about, indie developer, right? They came into being in like 2015 and they called themselves the Unpublisher because they wanted to change how publishing traditionally works and just try to provide services for indie developers. And some of the things that they're known for is the Kingdom series, which is like a 2D side-scrolling RTS.
Okay.
So Northgard's an RTS, like you make money, buy resources, upgrade against enemies or whatever. And I played the first Kingdom game. They're really, honestly, really good phone games, and I think they were originally meant to be that way, because all it is you walk left to right, you collect coins, and you use that, build a wall, build a certain base. Like it's all about where you choose to put the money to fight against waves every night of enemies, and you're trying to break through. And there's a few different versions. I think there's a co-op one where you can have two people playing at the same time. There's also one that's 80s themed, like Stranger Things, like, you know, kids riding around on bikes instead of a king on a horse or a queen on a horse. And it's just a fun little thing. Another popular one recently is Call of the Sea. And that's a first-person mystery game. You play as a woman who is trying to solve the death of her husband. Okay. And there's a little bit of that creepy, like, Lovecraftian horror hidden in, but it isn't really a horror game as much as that it's a mystery game. The interesting thing, when I was looking this up, the developer said it isn't so much about someone falling into insanity, which is a Lovecraftian thing that happens very often. It's more about a person breaking through to sanity. You know, you're solving the mystery, you're bringing yourself back up.
That sounds very interesting.
Honestly,
have you tried that game?
I have not, and I think I have it. I think I got it as a free game on Epic Games at one point, and I really should try it, because if it is as good as people say, you might really like that kind of game.
That sounds really cool.
And a couple recent ones, they just came out. One is called Mr. Sun's Hat Box, and it's a little roguelite where you get different hats and they do all sorts of wild different things. There's like a tank hat that if you jump on it will fire tank rounds, or little wing hats that help you jump more. And Cassette Beast, which is like a Pokemon-like game, and you collect cassettes that let you turn into monsters and stuff like that. But it looks like very Pokemon-esque. And there's one that I've seen them develop called Wolfstride, and it's like this black and white manga mecha fighting game RPG. And that looks like right up my alley, and I've seen it, but anytime it like we know, known fact about me, if I haven't played a game or haven't know enough about it, I wait till it's on sale, especially Steam. Wait for a Steam sale. Every time it goes on sale, I'm balls deep in another game, and I'm like, I'm not gonna have time for this. I'm not gonna spend my money right now. And then I never get it and try it.
Oh no.
And I don't know, I will eventually. It's not like it's just gonna disappear on me, but I don't know why that happens every time.
You're gonna be 80 years old, like, next sale, I'm gonna get this game.
I'm gonna get it. Oh. But I think you'll find Bip Bits, the developer, a little more interesting. They come from Germany. And Bip and Bits is made up of a couple that started dating in school in 2006. Pretty. It sounds pretty close to you and me, huh? They started dating, and they both enjoyed games. And he started learning how to do game design and production, and she does pixel art. So they all do these like 2D pixel games. Cool. So yeah, she does the art. He kind of makes the game and the code and all that. They started making games in 2011. But they didn't really feel like they got good at it until they started doing those game jams, those Ludum Dares, where it's like you have 2 or 3 days to make a game. Here's the theme. Like the theme for Dome Keeper, when they made that first version of it was deeper and deeper. That's what the game, that was what the theme was called. And it's kind of cool to see, like, they always put these vague themes and like, here, make a game. And I looked at all their Dare games that they've made. They have like an itch.io page where you can go and play these versions of these games.
Yeah.
And you watch as there's like this steady increase in quality over the games. The pixel art gets way better and way better and way better. And like the games look more interesting. Like they have some recent ones that look really cool, but they only have 2 full games they've released on Steam, and Dome Keeper is one of them. The one that's done the best for them so far.
Okay.
And they keep doing updates for it too, because people are playing it. They want to make sure people want to keep checking it out. And the first one they had was like this little animal puzzle game where you had like dogs and cats and lizards, and you had to like, it was like a grid-based little prairie, and you have to like trap them in corners and get them. It was like a puzzle game.
Weird.
Yeah, and I watched a video on it, and like, okay, it looks interesting, but I just don't think I could pay money to get it. I think it's an early game, and I'm glad that they put it out there, and people who did get it liked it, and it's cute. Yeah. But Dome Keeper's definitely much more my vibe. Yeah, 100%. Right. And I think that's just really, really cool. So they did this game jam for Lunum Dare 48, and they made the original Dome Keeper, and eventually they found a person to make the music for it. So it was essentially 3 people mainly worked on this game. And I think they had a little help with production from someone from Raw Fury and stuff. But I'm glad they got it out there, and I'm happy for their success.
Yeah.
I think people who really enjoy it and make interesting things, like, they deserve a little success. So essentially this game, you're managing a glass dome that crashes down on an alien planet. And the main game mode is called Relic Hunt. And your whole goal is to dig down until you find this special relic and bring it back up to your dome. And then you win the round.
Okay.
So you're trying to survive till that point. There's also like an endless wave mode where you just get points determined by how far you can survive. So if you just want to see how far you can go, like a Call of Duty Zombies, go for it, right? I like the Relic Hunt mode because I like that there is an actual end to
feel accomplished.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But if you want to play a harder mode, you can pick bigger maps, you can pick tougher enemies. You can pick your dome that you start with. There's a laser and a sword dome. The laser dome, you just have a rotating turret that just shoots a laser. And as you upgrade it, you can make it like a bigger, more powerful laser, or a laser that shoots in multiple directions and you're just hitting everything. And the sword dome, you just have a big old sword that you swing and slice people, but then you shoot it off like Scorpion in Mortal Kombat's hook into people. So you can hit ranged enemies, and you can you can choose the upgrade paths. You can make the sword like this big, slow, beefy boy that does a lot of damage, or you can make it really thin and fast and you're just slicing like crazy, or you could put a bomb on it. So when you shoot it, it explodes and hits everything in an area. And then you also have 2 different characters you can play as. You start with the engineer, and that's just basic drilling. And then there's an assessor who has like this orb he uses and can throw around and do a lot of damage. He's kind of hard to use, and I don't like him as much. I like to play the engineer, and it'll be interesting to see what you like.
Huh.
I think you really have to like plan out where you're going with the assessor. And if you know what you want to do, he's really useful. But if you're just digging like I like to dig, it doesn't work as well. It doesn't work for my the way I like to go about things. Yeah. And then as you're digging down into the dirt, you'll find gadgets. So you bring those back up and you get special additions to your dome. So one of them is a pen for a dinosaur called Drillbert, and you can just take your dinosaur down into the mines and he'll just drill away. And so you can go back and collect stuff or see what he found. There's a cool one called like an elevator lift, and so right below your dome there'll be these little orbs that circle almost like a conveyor belt, and if you drop resources there, they'll just continually bring it up to your dome. So you don't have to go back. There's also like upgrade gadgets to your tower defense side. There's a stun laser. So it's like an automatic turret that will hit enemies and it'll stop them in their tracks for a second. So that way, like, if you don't make it back up to the dome in time,
Yeah.
you know, you got a little breathing room, right?
Sure.
They really set it up in an interesting way. So when you start out, you only have like the laser dome, you only have the engineer, you only have like a couple basic gadgets that you can pick from to start with. But every time you win a relic hunt, they give you like 3 or 4 cards to pick from. You can unlock the assessor, you can unlock the sword dome. Like every time you win a relic hunt, you can unlock a new thing to try to start your build. And that's where the roguelite, like you can make it a little easier on you in that way. And the other really nice thing you do is if you lose a relic hunt, let's say you get wiped out, you can keep one of the extra gadgets you found on that run if you start a new run right away. So like maybe you really love Drillbert. You want to have him hanging with you right away. You start that mission with him right away. So like it makes it, they do this nice thing where like, hey, you lost. Here's just a little bit of help right away on the next run, you know?
That can make a big difference in a game like
that. Especially, you know, if you're playing like on the really large maps, there's so much to dig through that gets hard. And I like to play on like medium. That's like a good run for me. But if you just want to like run through quickly, you can pick a small map and it's like 20 minutes or so, you know, and you could go through it quick. But you don't get to like see the high-end upgrades usually because the game goes quick. So I like to have that medium ground where I can really buff up my sword dome and have a big beefy boy, and you know. So it all depends.
Feel accomplished, and it didn't take me too long.
Yeah, it's all about what kind of deal you want to play that time. If I have more time, I'll do a bigger map. I really like how it works. It's hard. They're not very clear on what the 3 different resources are actually called. And I think it's cobalt, iron, and water. And it's like, okay, it's square, triangle, circle. Like, and when you go up you go up to your dome, you bring the resources, you throw them in the resource grinder, you get them, and then you go in the upgrade menu and it's like, okay, I need 4 squares and a triangle and I can upgrade, you know, and you can always look at the upgrade tree and see what things do at the end. So, you know, like it's never like some games on an upgrade tree, you don't see what's after like the very next upgrade you can get, right?
Yes.
And so then you're like, I don't know if I want to go down this path. Is it worth it? But in this game, you always can see what a final option is for you. So you can choose which way you want to upgrade your things, which is very nice.
You hear that, Monster Hunter?
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Because sometimes you're like, oh, this is a great weapon. I can't wait to get to the next level up from it. And then the next one is total shit.
Or if you're starting Monster Hunter from the very beginning, it doesn't show you, like, you can see the tree. You can't always see the weapons until you kill that monster with the parts, right? So I've had times where it's like, oh, this weapon's really cool. I'm going to upgrade it. And then it just stops at high rank and you have to break off and branch into some other weapon that I didn't want to do because I got to high rank and I unlocked, oh, I can see more. Oh, this is as far as the weapon goes. Oh, I'm sad now.
Yeah.
I really like this weapon.
Sometimes you put a lot of time and resources into something that is not worth it at all. But that's okay.
At least they let you like roll back, right? You can roll back and try.
And once you've defeated like all the monsters, you can see it all.
Yeah, we've defeated enough. We can see everything. So,
no,
well, not
can't
yet.
See everything. No.
See everything. I am omniscient in Monster Hunter.
Tell me the best insect glaive to get then.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, like I said, this is a little indie game. It's a little fun. Like I don't have a ton of more to talk about it, and I kind of want to leave a little bit.
It sounds fun.
Yeah, it is a fun little game. Like I said, you can just pop it in, play a little bit. You know, you usually end up playing more runs if you do quick ones because, like, hey, that was fun. Let's do it again. What's your rating? What are you feeling? How excited are you to try this one out? Because you've seen me play it.
Yeah.
And I know that
you make it sound cooler than what it felt like watching you play.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's different when you're in the seat playing it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like a 6 or a 7.
I'll take that.
I think it'll be. I think I'm gonna like it. Actually, I think I will.
I think sometimes it's just nice to have a fun little game, something a little different.
Resource collecting. I like the panic of oncoming waves.
I think you
that
like
kind of
resource
stuff.
management.
I do.
We love that board game Scythe. That's all resource management,
Just
baby.
as long as it's not like too much.
Yeah, where like there's this point where like, hey, there's a little bit of a threat. That's all I need. Not like that overwhelming of like, hey, you're going to lose constantly until you perfect this game. I don't like that so much.
Well, I meant the resource management, actually. There's some games where there's too many resources.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying.
Then I get all apathetic and I'm like, oh, I'm not even going to try.
Why is there 10 different resources? No, only 3 in this game.
10 isn't a lot. I mean, I'm talking like when there's so many different, like, gosh, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. There has been games that you've had made me try where it's like, there's too much here and I'm not going to waste my time. That's how it's felt.
Sounds like an MMORPG to me.
Yeah, that kind of game.
Yeah, I can see what you're talking about. It's like, hey, there's 20 different kinds of trees.
Stardew Valley.
Oh.
There's so much where it's like, and I'm not throwing shade at that game because I know
It's a
people
good
love
game.
it and I know it's a good game. But like to me, when I start that up, it's like, I got to do crops and there's trees and the rocks and there's done.
It
Too much.
Okay.
I'm going to go play Slime Rancher.
Yeah, Slime Rancher. Stardew Valley side note. Stardew Valley is all about play the game how you want to play it, right? And if you can do that, if you could just be like, I'm just going to be chill and just be a farmer and I'm never going to go in the mine, you could 100% do that.
There's like mines and you can fish.
But it feels like you're missing the game. And it really, like, when I play it, I feel like I have to open up the wiki and look at all the good things you can do and the best way to go about it. And I think that takes the fun out of it.
Honestly, it's gotten to the, like, Minecraft is like that now.
Yeah.
There's actually, to me, too much in Minecraft now.
Yeah.
I mean, I started a whole turtle farm. My son ordered me to farm turtles, and I didn't even know you could do that. And then pretty soon I had like 100 turtles.
You just moving carpet.
Yeah. You know, there's too much.
There's a lot. And
if you're going to play on survival mode and actually try to make this stuff on your own, it is so much work. And,
yeah.
And
yep.
I don't like to dedicate that much time to anything.
Yeah, we just don't have that much time anymore.
Too many hobbies and too many responsibilities.
I got so many things I want to do. I want to play D&D. I want to build my Gunpla. I want to play other games too.
I got to feed my stupid family.
I just want to have a cuddle bug family movie night.
Yeah.
Like,
you know.
Yeah. All right. I got your rating. We're going to get out of the studio. We'll get you a chance playing that, and we'll see you guys back in a little bit. Bye-bye. Hello. Welcome back. Been out on the desolate alien planet wastes. Not really on the waste, underneath the waste, digging away for all the sweet, sweet goodies, and we're ready to hear some opinions.
I find it funny when I'm really enjoying a game. I'm terrible at taking notes about it because I'm just enjoying playing it too much. I can't stop.
Yeah.
And especially this type of game, it's very hard to stop. I'm busy digging, busy finding goodies, busy carrying them back up, busy leveling up my stuff, attacking monsters, going back down, dig again. I loved it. I had a lot of fun.
I
enjoyed it like immediately right away. I liked it.
I had the same feeling when I started it. It was like I started playing it, and like my first time playing, I failed right away because I didn't know what I was doing.
I think I actually completed my first run.
Yeah, I failed my first run. And then I went again, and then once I kind of clicked for me how to balance things out, it felt really good. Like having there's that indicator upgrade you can buy that lets you see when the next wave is coming.
That's a need.
Oh my God, you have to have it, because then it's like, okay, how long is it going to take me to? I didn't buy that in my first run. I was like, this is useless. I'll know to go back.
It's not. That's funny.
It makes a big difference.
See, I would have thought I would be the one that'd be like, I don't need that. That's unnecessary. That sounds like a me thing. But my first time playing, I saw that, and that was like the first thing I bought. Because otherwise you're down
below the surface digging, and you have no idea until it's too late when you're getting attacked.
Yeah, you will get an indicator once your dome is being attacked.
Yeah,
and by then
it's
it's
too
like you
late.
got to fly all the way back, and there's nothing you can do. And oh my goodness, yeah, that's why I failed the first time.
It was fun looking through all the options right away, and it didn't feel too overwhelming. And it's all pretty standard and easy to understand. It gives you a nice basic description of like what's going to do what, because you can upgrade the dome itself, your character, how fast they move, how much they can carry, all that good stuff. Your shield, if you have that, all those extra things that you might unlock. And the weapon that you use. I played with the laser dome the most. I tried the sword at the end a couple times, and I liked it. I liked it more than I thought I would. I was a little nervous to try it. I was like, it sounds kind of sketchy having this big sword that you just swing at a monster, like rotating on a dome. Like, that's not going to be effective. But understanding, actually how you shoot that sword out to get like aerial attacks and things like that, that's actually kind of fun. And it also can like repel their attacks towards you, which is kind of nice, like if you're good at aiming and you line it up right.
And like the nice thing is, generally speaking, the sword, just the basic swinging around your dome does a lot of damage. So when those guys do get close, like especially early on, one full speed slice will take out most of the enemies that are coming in, you know? And
it does seem like with the laser, you hit a spot partway in where it just doesn't seem effective for a while until you get over that kind of
the hump
of getting enough materials to upgrade it. It seems like you got to upgrade it. Like the first level up is great, and then the next two kind of suck. And by the time you get to the third, you're like, okay, I feel like I'm doing something.
I'm back, baby.
Yeah. But in the meantime, there's all these other things that you can upgrade to kind of help buffer it and keep you alive. And that's partly what makes this game so much fun for me. There's a lot to put there's so many baskets to put your eggs into. You have like the autocannon that will run. You can upgrade that to run even if you're not up in your dome when a wave comes and starts attacking you. And that can help out a lot. But even just having that when you are up there, that can hit one side and you can focus on the other side with enemies coming at you. And then there's like a spire, and that will shoot down aerial attacks that are aimed towards your dome. So that just kind of helps buff out hits that you were definitely going to get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're going to get hit. Like, there's no way your dome's coming out undamaged in one of these runs. But luckily, as long as you're digging for resources, you'll find... I can't remember what it actually is supposed to be called. Cobalt, I think.
Cobalt is the blue round one. The red triangle, I don't know what it is. And the orange squares, I don't know what those are.
Okay, the squares are supposed to be iron.
Okay.
The circles are supposed to be water.
I thought that was cobalt.
No, triangles.
Okay,
are
then the triangles are cobalt.
Yep, because the triangles is
I have no idea.
That's what you need to. Basically, that's kind of like your health item. That's what you need to repair and upgrade your dome health, and then
which is the hardest to find. Of course.
Yeah, and then almost everything else is mainly iron with a little bit of water on the side. It's hard because depending on the map you get, the color of those icons will change sometimes, but the shapes stay the same. So you understand? Yeah. So that's why I don't go by color necessarily, because I've had different colored maps. It just depends on what planet you land on, because the planet
does change.
Yep.
I noticed that.
You will get different types of monsters. Like art style wise, the monsters are always kind of like these almost, I don't want to say amorphous, but they're all like jet black, their eyes glow.
They're vague, they're shadowy.
Yeah,
it brings more terror, and I wanted to mention that too. It's not like super crisp, clear graphics, but again, this is the kind of game where the way that it looks is perfect for it, because it makes it that much better. You don't want this to be a clear-cut thing. These monsters, these aliens that attack you, it's hard to recognize like what shape they actually are, and there's all these limbs, and there's these spots for eyes, and they're so
creepy
dark.
Antlers.
It's very creepy. I love it, and the way they move, like they'll throw their whole body, some of them, and just like they're like wiggly. It's really really cool. Like It makes me really like the art style a lot. I thought it was a great way to do it.
I thought it was really cool because, you know, in the first half, we're talking about Bip and Bits and how their couple and she makes all the art. And it was fun looking back through their Ludum Dares to see that pixel art just like becoming crisper, more recognizable. Like it's cool to see where they started and where they are. Because, I mean, honestly, the art style looks really cool. And I think that she does work really hard. I think it's
perfect for the game.
Yeah, it works out. You get kind of a creepy alien vibe. Like you're in an unknown place and these unknown creatures are attacking you and you're just trying to, like, you're just one dude trying to do his job, you know?
Aliens are scary because we don't know what they look like. That's the whole thing.
Right.
Like that's in even scary movies, when you don't get a clear shot of what it is, or you only see a glimpse or a piece or a part. That's what makes it the most terrifying.
Let your imagination run
imaginations are so much scarier than what
what real life is. Yeah, right.
And I mean, there's only a few select people I think out there in the whole world that can think of something really messed up that's terrifying for everybody. Everybody's got their own version of terrifying, right?
That's for sure. Yeah.
I see a big banana spider, I'm gone. Some people don't mind.
Yep. Some people will let that crawl all over them. Oh, I watched the shiver happen in real time.
We gotta talk about something else anyway.
We'll move forward. So yes, the art style's really cool. It's a cool 2D pixel art game. It's fun to dig. It is fun to dig these blocks.
So satisfying. Like this is such a good mixture of, like we were talking about before, like it's a game where you feel a little bit rushed. There is movement, you got momentum going, you gotta dig this stuff, you gotta find it so that you can upgrade your things, so that you can dig more and defend your dome. Yep. But at the same time, it is so relaxing and enjoyable to just pop like. Yep. And it was funny because when I started playing, I started digging like my outside edges and I was clearing every single piece out.
The whole thing.
And I wondered to myself, I was like, I wonder how Matt plays this. Does he do it the smart way where he like leaves a row and goes around because you can see all the minerals if you go every other? Or does he like to clear it all out like I do? Which I'm going to say is a huge time waster and totally unnecessary. Very much, yeah. It just really makes your life harder. But it's that Minecraft kind of satisfaction, if you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And you did say like you did do it that way for a short time.
Yep. The first few rounds I did, I really was digging out everything. But once I started getting to the bigger maps, I was like, I don't have time. So I would do where I dig out a row and I always dug out the edges. So I had a center line and the edges. I could always fly back up. Yeah. But I would leave a row in between because you can always see wherever you dig, you can always see what resources are one block in from wherever you're at. Mm-hmm. So then I would always leave one row. But there's cool special upgrades you can find throughout the map. Like you found gadgets, but there's certain ones where you can find one where if you bring a piece of iron to it, it'll upgrade your jetpack to be super fast for a while. There's one that is like an antenna that actually expands how far you can see by another block. So you can see 2 blocks in at a time. Okay. So then I would leave 2 rows because I could see that far. I didn't need to. And I also talked about the sonar upgrade. That's an actual. I did see that. So, and I want to differentiate these two things I'm talking about. The first two things are actual like little special, like random chance things you can find, like random event things. You can always find a gadget upgrade in these relic hunts, and you bring that back up to your base, and that gives you a gadget, like the teleporter you were using.
Or the spire.
Or, the spire. The lift, which makes a cool little elevator that'll consistently lift your items up into it. Lift's amazing. But the sonar is cool because you send out a little wave from your guy, and then you'll see, hey, you don't get to see what the resource is, but you know there's a resource within, 8 spaces of you, and you can dig right to it. That's nice. Super nice. Like that's such a time saver.
On a big map, I can see where that's nice.
Yeah, exactly.
I played on small, and I was surprised at how big that was. Yeah. And I did that for a while because I was like, this is taking me a while just on a small map. And then I went to medium, and I was like, wow, this is really, really big. I want to try a large I haven't gotten to yet. I've been trying to like flip around and play with different settings. Like I did finally unlock the assessor. I've been using the engineer. And like I said, going back and forth between the laser dome and the sword dome. And then like your immediate extra thing, like you can have an orchard tree in your dome.
The starting gadget, essentially.
Or your shield, like an extra shield around your dome. Like switching between that stuff and also letting myself enjoy the things that I do like. You know, because playing it one time just isn't enough if you enjoy it. You got to try it
that was really
again.
cool. I want to fine tune it, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
That's like, to me, one of the funnest parts about this game. You can end up with so many different things that you can level up, and to make yourself work better, to make your dome work better, to make your drilling more efficient. Like, it's hard to stop and you want to keep going. And pretty much every time I was able to find the relic and finish the run, which is super satisfying, like I was saying before. But at the same time, there's a part of me that's like, but I want to upgrade all my stuff still. I don't want to be done yet, you know? So I got to try that bigger map and see if I can get that good, satisfying feeling.
Yeah. It is fun. I enjoy that. I remember feeling like that the first time I played it. Not so much with the small map. I was like, oh, it's done. Well, that was decent. And then the medium upgrade, I was like, holy moly, like this is getting big.
Sizable difference.
Large is like, it's a lot, because not only does it get deeper, but it does like it's
wider.
Almost always conical, like from the beginning.
Sure.
Like it just starts to widen out the deeper you go, so it can get really big. And on the large map, I have found like spires. I'm just gonna call it bedrock, because anybody who played Minecraft knows you can't mine bedrock. That's the bottom, right?
Yeah.
And so you get to like bedrock, and it'll be like spires of bedrock that you have to like dig around sometimes.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's not just a flat bottom or anything.
No, I like that too. It's always different underground and like a different layout, and it's not symmetrical or even. It feels a little more realistic that way. You know what I mean?
And I just want to give a shout out to mixing the art design with gameplay. Is as you dig down, it is so easy to determine like how easy it is going to be to dig a block by how each block looks, and how much harder it is. Because so essentially
they have different like they each have a different look to them, which helps you know, like, okay, I need to upgrade my drill before I start messing around with this stuff.
And so, like, as you get deeper, the color changes, and every time the color changes, it's like that's a tougher dig. Even though it might look like the same kind of block, the different color will mean it gets tougher and tougher. So you can really, like, just very quickly visually, you can see these things. Just a nice touch is a good way to put it.
It is, because like I said, you know whether to waste your time messing around with it pretty quickly.
Yeah, you get like them solid looking blocks, and it's like, I'm just going to go around.
They kind of look like the brick blocks from Super Mario.
Yeah, yep.
Like, no. Couldn't skip that. But surprisingly, sometimes when you dig like all the way to the bottom, you end up with some sandy stuff that's super easy to get out of the way.
Yeah.
So it is like a little bit mixed up. It's not just going deeper means harder. It is mixed up, which is also good, because sometimes you mine the materials out of a level and you get to a harder level and you upgraded your stuff and you don't have enough to upgrade your drill, and then you're stuck like taking 4 hits to a block. But luckily, if you look, there will be a soft patch where you can break through and hopefully find more materials.
Yeah.
I've done that a few times.
Oh, I've been there too.
There's a lot of stuff to upgrade.
Well, that's the thing.
I don't think I've ever actually filled out a whole tree.
Yeah, I have. I think on large, I definitely did a couple. Like, you have your basic dome upgrades, which is like a wave indicator, more health, even like one where if you take so much damage during a wave, it'll automatically heal a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, nice things like that. And then you have your main weapon, which, like I said, laser or sword, there's a lot you can upgrade, and you can take it different ways depending on what kind of weapon you want. Right. Then you have your character, which is just basically how quickly do you break blocks, how fast do you fly around.
Yeah, we went over this already.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm moving on. But then you get the gadgets, and that's where it gets even more intense. So you already have those 3 things. And
should we talk about the Upgrades for the engineer again, a third time.
I think so. So for the engineer, I can't help it. I get in the mindset
because we repeat ourselves sometimes, and then I'm like, oh god.
It's been 3 weeks since we recorded the first half of this episode. Sorry again about our Dome Keeper delay, but
it was worth the wait for me.
Yeah, I mean, she's had so much fun playing it, so that it's been nice.
I enjoyed it. Like it's really rare when I start a game and I enjoy it right away, and this was one of those games, and like I just relaxed instantly, and I was like, oh, I'm good with this. I can do this all the time. I'm excited to go play it more. Actually, I really, really enjoyed it.
It is really a pick up and playable game. It's more about just learning what the different things do. Like your basic things you can do as your engineer. It's like I run into bricks and I collect stuff. Pretty easy. You know, I shoot a laser. Okay. But it's once you start getting into how I upgrade things that really changes how the game feels. And that's gets the fun part. So it's really, it's like Othello. Easy to pick up, hard to master. Like it's easy to jump in.
Yeah.
It gets harder once you get more stuff, but in a good way. Yeah.
The controls were great too.
You started playing with just the keyboard and mouse, and I was like, just use a controller. It's so nice.
You can use just the keyboard completely. You don't really need the mouse for gameplay at all. Yeah. And you're like, use the controller. And I'm like, I don't know how to connect it. And
I literally have it set up.
You just got to turn on the controller.
I have my fancy green controller that I love is like set up to just automatically connect to the laptop, and that's the only thing I let it connect to now. So yeah, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Most of the time when I see you using your controller when you're playing a game on the computer, I look at you and I'm like, that's so fucking stupid. Like, why are you playing a computer game with an Xbox controller? What's wrong with you?
I think that's fucking dumb. But you know what? I get why now. Because it's a lot easier with the controller than it is on the keyboard. On the keyboard, some of the buttons that you need, you got your normal WASD to move, but you need to use Q and E a lot, and it's very hard when you are using your dome to attack the aliens. You need to hit Q, and then you're accidentally hitting W and A, and then you're moving right at the last second, and you're fucking up a lot. And then I was like, okay, I'll try this controller, and then I've played with it like that ever since because it's way easier. Yeah. Not that it was hard on the keyboard.
No, it wasn't.
If you got gimpy hands like me, I mean, don't waste your time.
Okay, you don't have gimpy.
I don't know, but not good coordination.
I really, this is how I feel because I love playing games on the PC, but there are some games that are made for PC that just plays better. The menus work better. They're like keyboard and mouse is an amazing type of controller, but a lot of games having an actual just regular controller works very well and smoothly. It
surprisingly did.
It.
I'm just being honest. I'm telling you the truth. Previously, for many years, I've never told you this.
Getting called out.
I thought it was fucking stupid, but now I get why you do it. I think it's just from my limited experience. I have PC games that I really, really like, and I've just always used the keyboard, and it's worked and been fine. And like I said, yeah, it works, but is it better with the controller? Yeah. Just needed you to show me the way.
And honestly, like nowadays, they make it really easy to connect like your PlayStation controller to your computer or your Xbox controller. Like back in when I first really started any sort of PC gaming, I had to buy a Logitech one. And like that was like the best you could buy.
Yeah.
But it was still like, it's okay. It just doesn't feel quite right. And
stick controls are just the best for movement, you know?
Which is funny because Logitech made some real good wireless ones back in the PlayStation 2 Xbox era. Best wireless controllers you could get until the companies went and made that themselves. All right. So I thought before we get into the end, unless you have any last things you want to say about Dome Keeper, other than we're getting to the rating, don't worry. I just want to see if there's anything else you wanted to talk about. I need the Jeopardy music on my soundboard. I don't think
so.
Do, 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 do.
Well, you're going to cut that out, right?
Nope. I'm leaving it in now.
I think we covered it all. I love the art. I heard a little bit of the music. It was fine, I think. I didn't pay attention to the music too much.
Music, unless the game's just like, unless it's Guitar
I think it
Hero,
was like good, relaxing. No, like Minecraft music. Like,
yeah, chill.
That's relaxing. It wasn't that chill, but it was on a similar. You know what I'm trying to say. It was cool. It was good.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Like it
was a positive thing, but like most of the time you were also next to me playing something or doing something, and I just would turn mine down. You were usually playing Fortnite.
Yeah, Fortnite.
By the way,
Fortnite.
New season on Fortnite. There's Optimus Prime now.
Oh, I know.
Matt is so jonesing for that Optimus Prime, aren't you?
I don't know. Like, I worked hard on the last season. I got to level 99.
That's how they get you. You enjoy your Darth Maul for 1 week, and then you're like, guess what's over here? Optimus Prime.
Look at Optimus Prime. I got to get to level 99 for Optimus Prime, though, and that's...
You can do it. I believe in you.
We'll see. I'm going to play it and see how far I get, and then I'll decide to pick up the Battle Pass when I think I'm far enough. I have been playing that. So let's go back to what kind of rating do you think you'd give Dome Keeper out of 10?
I think it deserves a good 8 out of 10.
I
think it's a really good game.
It is a solid game.
It plays really well. Obviously, there was no issues playing it. And like I said, I like the artwork of it. I love the idea of it. It kind of bums me out that you mentioned on Metacritic, like some people didn't think there was enough game, or that some people didn't like how you have to go back and forth between digging and like defending your dome.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's what makes this game so good.
Yeah, the balance.
If it was one or the other, it would be boring as hell.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun and exciting and keeps you wanting more because you have to balance. I don't know why some people seem to not understand the concept of always leave them wanting more, because that's really what it is.
Yeah.
You don't feel like you get to spend very much time digging before you have to go back up to defend your dome.
Yep.
And you go defend your dome, and by the time you're getting into that, it's over. And holy shit, I better go start digging right now because I
gotta
only
go.
have so much time.
Yep.
That's the whole point. That's why you want to play it again, because you still want to get both of those good feelings. People are crazy.
And I love this, like the intensity of some of the fights, especially in the later waves where like your dome's coming down, you haven't found any cobalt to heal, and you like pull through by the skin of your teeth. Like that's exciting, right?
I have done that a lot. It's really hard not to spend all your cobalt too quickly. You got to save that stuff, meter it out. Heal. It's absolutely necessary.
I always hold on to some extra before I start spending it all, because it's like I might need this.
Yeah, there's been a couple of times when I've really
Dry
been
spell.
cutting it close, and when you finally find one little block of cobalt, you're like, yes, thank you.
3, baby Jesus, please have 3 in you.
It's always one.
Yeah, I know,
Always.
right?
Oh well, one heal is better than none.
So I thought it'd be interesting right before we get into our final stuff, and I see you're smirking over there.
I'm not smirking.
I wanted to ask, like, hey, is there anything else you've been playing?
No.
You've actually been very focused on Dome Keeper since we've had time.
I had to, because, before we took our break, I was playing more Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
And then we went on break, and then we came back, and I really needed to play some Dome Keeper. Which I'm a little sad I was putting it off a little bit. I mean, I didn't necessarily try to. I was just really sucked into Breath of the Wild, but Dome Keeper was really fun, actually, and I do want to play that more. I'm definitely going to be playing that again.
It's just a good thing you can, like, sneak in whenever, you know?
Yeah. Breath of the Wild, I'm pretty far on. I've got 3 of the 4 Guardians.
Yep. Working
my way over. I've kind of focused on, like, filling out the map and going through and getting the last like 2-3 towers. But it sounds so dumb to say that is a time consuming, but it actually really is, because I want to explore the areas and see what there is to see.
There's so much to see. You get
distracted by figuring out different temple puzzles and things like that. And it's been fun, but I'm not going to lie. All I see are Tears of the Kingdom videos just constantly. And I feel like a lame-o because I'm just now experiencing Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
And Tears of the Kingdom is like that plus like 2 more levels. And I just...
Yeah.
There's a part of me that's like, I feel lame. And I also want to play Tears of the Kingdom. And then I'm like, I am never going to get through Tears of the Kingdom. It's taking me forever to get through Breath of the Wild. That's like a 5-year stretch to get through.
It's no wonder people were still playing Breath of the Wild, right?
Yeah, I get it now. It's so much fun, though. And it is relaxing. I like it a lot. But that's pretty much the only other thing. I want to play the Monster Hunter expansion that just came out.
I know.
Keep bringing that up.
I know you do. And I trust me, I hear you. And I promise we're going to get to it.
I'd like to do it with you, but I'm also like at the point now where I'm like, can you just buy that for make it happen make it so I can play that, please? Because I don't know.
We will make it happen. Something has to happen first, and you're just gonna have to trust me for a minute.
What?
I can't tell you yet. You have to wait till next episode.
What are you talking about?
We're moving on. I've been playing something recently came out on Steam. This is going to be a mouthful, so prepare yourself. Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2.
That sounds so... That's the most you thing you've ever...
I know. Look, I've said it before. I'm a sucker for robots. It recently just finally came out on PC on Steam. I played like the network tests a little bit, and I was very excited for it to finally come out because you could only play it on, I believe, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. And it's nice to see that it's out on PC now and a lot more people can enjoy it. I know there's a couple little kinks with networking. Sometimes when you get in the game, you got to try like a few times before it'll like fully go through. But other than that, during the game mode, it's been a blast. I was running around with my big robot I called my Bazooka Boy, and he has 2 bazookas.
I love it.
And if you want to see me playing some of it, I actually was able to sneak in a little stream of me playing it, and so it's up on our YouTube channel.
Did you give up on God of War or what?
No, I'm going to play God of War the next time I solo stream, but I thought it would be, I called it just for fun, and I thought it would be just kind of fun to mix in something different in.
Yeah.
So, I'm definitely going to finish God of War. It's going to happen. It's going to take a while, and sorry, not sorry.
Bazooka Boy.
But Bazooka Boy. So I thought it'd be fun to just have like a little multiplayer game, and yeah, it was a good time. I enjoyed it. All right, lay it on me.
Lay what on you?
Do you really want me to answer that?
I don't have any candy for you. What do you want?
Oh, okay. I'll give it to you.
I thought this would be appropriate since we were talking about Dome Keeper and digging and relics in the ground and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Scientists thought they had found a limb of an ancient hominid.
Limb of an ancient hominid.
Mm-hmm. But it was just a fossil arm.
Oh, goodness. Ooh.
It's a little bit good, huh?
I don't know. It's
got a stink on it.
Yeah, that's a good way to put
it. It's like eating a sweet pickle, and you're like, this is supposed to taste good, but I hate it.
I thought this was going to be dill pickle, and it was bread and butter.
And I can't trust anything because you look the same, but you taste so wrong.
Oh, all right. Let's do this. It was good. I liked it. I just, like you said, it had a stink to it, and it's like
that face you made was not I like that face. That's not what you did.
Quit selling me out. This is an audio medium. I like to thank Brother Ray for our caricatures. I love them. I enjoy them. Yes. They're wonderful. I appreciate
They're fantastic.
And I would love to thank you, our listeners, for tuning in, listening. Again, sorry for the delay, but we should be back on track for a more normal podcasting schedule. We know our streaming is wildly erratic, but that's just the way it is.
Yeah, but I'm proud of us for being, for the pretty decently regular and consistent.
Yes.
For the podcast.
I mean, honestly,
streaming is wild, but
in our first year of podcasting, it wasn't until after our first year that we had one delay, and I only delayed it 1 week, not a full episode cycle.
Oh, gosh,
so
no.
That would have been me, and I wouldn't do that to you guys. I would have felt bad. And yeah, feel free to leave a comment in Spotify, on our YouTube. I got a TikTok that I keep trying to add a little bit here and there, and
if you like it, share it with somebody you like.
Absolutely,
if you
please
think they
do.
will like it.
Yeah, it's. I think it's a fun thing to share, and a fun thing to, even if like you've played the game, hearing other people's opinions and get a discussion started, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I get I always get going and I start rambling and I can't help myself. And I think.
Thank you for the music.
Oh, yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. We're going to head on out of here. I'm Matt.
I'm Rose.
And this has been Co-ople Mode. You keep gaming with your bestie.
Go play some Dome Keeper.
Get those domes. Woo! Ta-ta!